Hello and welcome everybody to another little video from the heart. I recently just read A Death in the Family, another Batman story. I'm going to try to bridge off of these pretty soon here and check out some different franchises. But I've been waiting to read this one for a while because it's the one where Jason Todd, the second Robin, actually dies. I know it's not a spoiler. It's right here on the cover. It's right here on the back, alright? Comic books don't really mind spoiling themselves in descriptions, which is kind of maybe bad, looking for them like on Amazon and stuff. Which I actually bought this one from a local comic book store, so I can feel a little better about not funding Amazon and letting all these mom and pop shops just disintegrate. Now, one thing that's super interesting about this one is they actually let the fans decide whether Robin would die or not, alright? The fan base was kind of getting sick of Batman and Robin as a team. They thought, people were starting to think, it's very punny. If you go back and read some of the really old Batman comics, they are mega campy. To the point where I don't think I personally could read them after, having all these other dark and really gritty ones, which I do kind of prefer. And I gotta say, on the first flip through of this, I was pretty disappointed, It looks very campy. It looks very different. It's a very classic looking comic book, it looks old, it looks a little bit dated, but I gotta say, this thing deals with some crazy ass subject matter, and while I'm not gonna go through the entire story, I'm just gonna give you the base gist and talk about some of the better moments. But anyway, so the fan base was getting sick of Batman and Robin, and the writers said, yo, we're gonna have this comic book, we'll give you a call-in number, and you guys all vote, and we will honor that. If you choose for Robin to die, we're gonna fucking do it. And you know what? The fan base did it. They decided Robin needed to die, and excruciating pain. And they fucking did that shit. They killed him, right? In a pretty gruesome way. So what is this mainly about? This is mainly about Robin kind of trying to deal with the death of his parents. His dad used to be a gangster for Two-Face's gang, and I think his mom died from a sickness, or it would be cancer or something like that. I can't quite remember. This is a longer one. There's a lot of information. I just can't remember it all. So basically what I'm saying is I'm not going to be doing like a retelling of the entire story, alright? It's a lot of information, but I do want to go over some of the crazy shit that happens in this book. Like I said before, some of the stuff is very campy. I was disappointed when I opened it, and then what do? You get to the first page, and what does it say? It says, "It took me 3 weeks to track down the kiddie porn ring's main warehouse. The bus was all set to go. Robin and I were in hiding, waiting for our police backup." And this is where it all starts, this is where Batman really starts to notice that Robin is unhinged, alright? Robin is out for blood. He's working with some bad emotions. Robin just goes right in. He doesn't wait for the backup, and he starts busting heads, rightfully so, for what the hell's going on in here. Alright, but anyways, after all this, Batman, he doesn't want Robin to die. Alright, he needs him to listen. He needs him to trust the investigation. So what does he do? He takes Robin off the team. And this makes Robin upset, leading to a whole walk through the city where Robin goes to his old apartment where he used to live. This old lady pulls out a box and she's like, "Yo kid, I got this stuff in the box." Robin goes up to her apartment, he opens the box, he's looking through these old photos, some old information, and he ends up finding his birth certificate, where he inevitably finds out that, well, his mom and his biological mom isn't actually his biological mom, alright? That was a lie. And this kind of gives him hope to go off and find his real mom, where he finds that her actual name has been crossed out, and the only thing left in its wake is an S. And then soon, finding his dad's address book, he finds 3 women starting with S, and that's like Sheila, Shiva, and they're actually all in Lebanon, which kind of coincides with like a whole coinky-dink of a bunch of people needing to go to Lebanon. And this was written in the 1980s, so I don't know if they written this due to like the politics that were going on or anything. At this point, Joker has also escaped, alright? And he needs to get his funds back up. The government is actually kind of smart this time. They're being a little more realistic, and they start seizing his assets, which is pretty cool. They're taking out his warehouse, his henchman, and he knows that he needs to make more money. So Joker's whole reason to go to Lebanon is that he has recently acquired a fucking cruise missile, alright? A nuclear bomb. And he's like, I'm gonna sell that shit to some terrorists, alright? Pretty light subject matter, and Batman notices that everybody's gone. Robin has stolen his credit card and gone off to Lebanon to find these women. So everybody is conveniently going to Lebanon. That is where we will be hanging out. So Everybody's in Lebanon now. Batman, Robin, they end up finding each other and stuff, and they're just kind of going to each of these three women, trying to figure out what the hell's going on. You know, one is a doctor working with refugees. One is a mercenary training Shiites, actually, which was also kind of crazy, training a terrorist group. The other one is just kind of hanging out with this dude that's trying to help acquire this nuclear bomb, trying to sell it, trying to get the money for the Joker. That is actually the first one. So, you know, once Batman and Robin actually finally meet up, Batman's like, yo, I'm gonna help you find your mom, dude. I should have been there for you the entire time. And but I happen to know that Joker's selling a nuclear bomb to some fucking terrorists, Robin. You know, I'm sure you can understand that that might be a little more important than your finding your mommy or whatever it is you need to do. And Robin's like, all right, dude, you have to be a dick about it, but I can understand. So anyways, Batman's brought some gadgets, he's brought some toys, they both get on this hang glider thing, and they find the bomb location, they find the Joker, they find the whole shebang going down, and as soon as this all goes down, it's just pure chaos. Batman and Robin are just kicking ass and taking names. Joker is trying to escape with the money, trying to take down Batman real quick, and the guy that's actually just bought the nuclear bomb or whatever, he tries to set the thing off. Now, remember, or don't remember because I never said anything, but Joker actually acquired this missile, deassembled it, flew it across country, and then reassembled it. So it's not working properly, and the thing just explodes, alright, and it basically kills everybody. I'm pretty sure Batman said that he had put all the enemies in a ditch or something like that, but who knows, man. This guy is such a liar. He's just such a deceiver, you know. He's killing people left and right. We all know that. But all the bad guys are gone, and the Joker has escaped once again. They find the First Lady. Robin's all like, yo, have you ever had any kids? And she's like, no, bro, I've never had any children. So they're off to the next lady. And this lady is the one that's training the Shiite people. And I'm pretty sure she may be an ex-agent of like Ra's al Ghul or something. Her and Batman actually meet up after him and Robin go stealth mode and just take out like an entire camp of people, which is pretty insane. They're basically untouchable. They throw on some disguises, and everybody's just like, yo, Tommy, aren't you supposed to be on guard? And what do you know, they get their asses kicked. But anyways, they take out this whole platoon of people. They meet up with this last person, or at least Batman does, and she wants to kick Batman's ass. She knows of him, and she wants to test his martial arts prowess. You know, she wants to put him to the max. Batman's like, yo, I'm not in the mood, you know, I just don't feel like fighting you, but she doesn't care. She actually proceeds to kick Batman's ass, which is neat, alright? And then eventually Batman gets the upper hand, kicks her ass, and then Robin comes up and he joins in on the ass kickery because he's honestly struggling a little bit. This lady is very strong. They're basically 1-to-1, and she actually says they're gonna meet later, so I don't know if there's another like big title Batman book that's gonna feature her in it. At this moment, I'm just sticking to like the bigger moments and whatnot. I'm not trying to read every single issue of Batman that there ever was. But nonetheless, Batman and Robin kick this chick's ass too. Robin asks her if she's had any babies, and she's like, yo, I've had babies all across the planet, dropping dozens of these mercenary children ready to go at any time. And they both kind of know that she's just giving him a bunch of bullshit. So surprisingly, Batman pulls out some truth serum and sticks that in her while he's talking about how he wished this, you know, this is the part where he doesn't feel like a hero. He has to forcefully put drugs into people's veins, and inevitably she says no. I am not the mother either. So they're on their way to the next person, which is Sheila. You know, she's working for this medical group. She actually used to work in Gotham, but she's gotten into some big political trouble running some kind of teenage ring. I don't know if she did some kind of like surgery on these kids, or if she's like selling their organs, but it's very implied that it's dark and that she can never return to the States. So that part alone is very interesting, alright? But what do you know? The Joker shows up here as well, and he knows that his nuke can no longer be sold due to the detonation murder of the local terrorist that he was trying to sell it to. But he knows this chick's here, alright, and he's trying to get these medical supplies that this lady has for an entire group of people, all these starving people, and it actually shows some starving people throughout this. It shows some starving people, but no, it like shows a refugee camp and stuff, and they're like, it goes through, you know, how sad it is and everything like that. And yes, Dr. Sheila already knows who this is. I I believe she was actually working for him, and he basically tells her, you know, you need to give me all these supplies. I'm gonna take them from this camp of people. God be damned if they all die. He basically doesn't care. He talks about like letting them starve to death, basically blackmails into letting everybody know who she was back in the States. So she's kind of forced to giving him these medical supplies, and you're kind of thinking like, oh no, you know, Sheila, she's being pushed in a box, you know, maybe she's a good person, but you'd be very much surprised. And obviously at this point I've spoiled so much of this. I'm just gonna go through like the big moments of this, so maybe stop watching because we've gone pretty far already. She does agree to this, but before that happens, you know, she's in her tent. Joker's left. He's getting ready, getting his trucks ready to take all the medicine. Batman and Robin actually show up, and they find this lady, and she actually knows who Bruce Wayne is. I think she's met him in Gotham City before, and she knows that he's Bruce Wayne, the millionaire. She does not know that he's Batman, though. He tells her, yeah, I know, but I got somebody here that you might like to meet. And she instantly sees that it's Jason Todd, her son, all right, initiating this makeup. They're talking and everything. Bruce Wayne leaves. He's trying to give them some space while they can talk, and Sheila basically tells Robin, you know, I need like an hour or two. I got some paperwork to do, which actually means, you know, she's helping to steal all the medicine from this refugee camp, supplies and whatnot. So Robin leaves for a little bit. Joker takes Sheila away with some convoy trucks. You know, he's got all these boxes on this truck, so you might be kind of wondering what those are. But Robin notices, and he tails them, all right? So the convoy leaves with Sheila and Joker. They're at this warehouse getting ready to load up all these boxes, but not before Joker tells her what's in his boxes. And his plan is to actually leave his laughing gas poison in place of these medical supplies to basically kill all these different camps in Ethiopia and things like that, because that's where they are now. I thought that was extremely dark. There's a lot of stuff in here where the Joker actually really shows his truly dark side, just talking about like starving people that he frankly doesn't give a shit about. You know, he thinks it's kind of funny. Sheila doesn't want to do this, but again, he's gonna blackmail her about like her career back in the States, ruining her current career. And she's like, yo, I can't let that happen. I'd rather let all these people die. So what do you know? They swap these boxes out. Robin notices this. He noticed that his mom is being blackmailed by the Joker, and he actually meets up with her, and he's like, yo, you don't know who I am. I'm actually kind of a big deal. And he lets her know that he is Robin. She's kind of blown away. Instantly from here, I kind of knew that something was askew, something's going wrong. But Robin knows this is a little too big for him, so he goes off and finds Bruce Wayne once again, tells him about this convoy truck full of this poison gas that's gonna kill thousands and thousands of refugees. Bruce Wayne basically tells him, Robin, stay here, you little shit. Just stay and listen, just this once. Just listen to me while I go take out this truck. Keep an eye on your mom. So that's what Batman does. He goes off, he pulls out a helicopter out of this Land Rover that he has. Very neat, all right? He has hang gliders in there. He's got a mini helicopter in there. He's basically got everything, all right? He's got a little bag of eternity, just unlimited space. But he goes off to take down this convoy truck, and he's able to do this. But he knows there's something wrong. He knows that Robin probably is going to listen to him. After quickly explaining to these people, you know, don't touch these boxes, let the army does it, he has to take this convoy truck all the way back. And he knows it's going to take like 20 minutes. And at this point, Robin's already gone. He's already trying to help his mom. You know, he kind of like busts the door in or whatever. He meets back up with her, and she tells him, you know, come with me. I have a safe place for us. And what do you know? She actually leads him to the Joker, where she's like, yo, Robin, I can't let you do this. I've been embezzling money from these fucking supplies. And I was like, oh my god, is everybody in this book just a giant piece of shit? Because that's what it seems. And yeah, so she allows her own son to be captured by the Joker, leading to like one of the most iconic moments in Batman history, where Joker tells Robin himself that he wants to have some fun with him, you know? He wants to do something that he's always wanted to do. And his mom's just kind of sitting there. She's fine with this, you know, she needs that embezzlement money, and she doesn't want the world to know what she was doing back in the States. And he pulls out a crowbar, and he profusely beats Robin basically to death with this thing. You know, you can see it right up here. I'll actually probably do some close-up stuff for this, hopefully, if I get around to it. And Sheila is just watching this. She actually pulls out a cigarette and just starts smoking, and like allows her own biological son to be beaten to death with a crowbar. This part kind of confused me. It happens rather quick. There's a thing in The Three Jokers where it actually goes to a flashback of this, and it shows Robin actually like pleading for his life and telling the Joker that he will be his sidekick if he'd only just stop. And it's actually like really disturbing the way they pull that off in that, but that's not in here. He just kind of beats him with his crowbar, and that's just the way it is. So yeah, Robin is laying on the floor. He's like utterly covered in blood. Joker's covered in blood, and he's like, wow, that was messy. And Sheila's like, yeah, it was, but thank God I have this cigarette. But what do you know? Joker double crosses her too, and he ties her up. Yeah, he ties her up. She's like, you can't do this. And he's like, but I am. So he ties them up, leaves a bomb inside of this warehouse with both of them, and leaves them both for dead. And instantly Sheila's like, oh no! Well, Robin comes back to life, kind of. Well, not come back to life, but he gains consciousness again. He can barely walk, but he's like, I'm still gonna save you, Mom. Mama. She's like, yeah, do it. Save me, and I'll save you. So yes, here comes the tragic tale of Robin. He lets his mom go, and they're both crawling to it, and all of a sudden they get to the door with like 2 seconds left, and they find out that the Joker actually locked it. And kaboom goes the bomb. And that is how Robin dies, sadly. His mom's still a little bit alive. Batman's like running there. He's trying to get there as fast as he can, but he's not in time. And he sees this bomb go off. He's walking through the wreckage. He finds Sheila, though, still just barely alive, and she's like, my boy was such a good boy, even though I just allowed him to be beat to death with a crowbar. Just so I can keep embezzling money. It's like, there's basically no good reason why she allows this to happen, other than like super selfish grief. But, she's really sad about it. She passes away, and Batman's like, you know what? Fuck you, I'm gonna keep on looking for Robin. And he finds his remains. And this is a pretty sad part, as Batman is carrying Jason's remains, he's walking out. He doesn't shed a tear or anything though, Batman's kind of a cold son of a bitch. He doesn't really mind. He's like, you're dead, boy. And there's not much I can do about that. No, he's actually very soul crushed, and that it goes on to a few other comic books. Now, overall, at this point, this thing's been pretty good. There's been a lot of wild moments that I thought I'd never really see in a Batman book, and I thought it was really good. But after this is where things start getting kind of weird, kind of campy. The Lebanon prince or something comes up, and he starts telling Joker like, hey, I want to recruit you to be the UN ambassador of this country. And I'm like, what is going on? All right. At this point, who would actually do any of this? So after the funeral and stuff of Jason Todd, Batman is confronted. He goes to New York, I believe, to go into the UN embassy for some kind of world meeting or something. He kind of knows that Joker is probably going to be here. Joker has escaped at this point, and he wants to catch him. I think he's at the point where he actually does want Joker dead. He says, he's like, you've literally gone too far. Even your total psychopathy can't excuse this. He's actually done with him at this point. But little do you know, who the fuck shows up at this point? Superman. Superman shows up, and he's like, Batman, you can't do it, alright? You need to not do anything, and you need to let me handle this. At which point Batman's like, yo, what in the actual fuck are you doing here, dude? Where were you? Basically, Superman tells him that if you do anything here, or you cause any ruckus, I'm literally gonna have to stop you. To which point, Batman punches him in the face, and kind of breaks his knuckles or whatever, and Superman's like, you're lucky I swung into that, otherwise you could have crushed your whole body trying to punch me. He kind of flexes on him like that. And then, what do you know? Somebody rolls up in a car, and it's fucking Joker as the UN ambassador, and he literally says, it's true, guys, I'm the Iranian ambassador to the UN. Alright, Iranian, not Lebanon. Like I said, this is a big book with a lot of information and a lot of moving parts. So yeah, Joker is the ambassador. He's at this meeting. Batman basically knows that he's gonna try and kill a bunch of people, and Superman tells him he's a diplomat now, there's laws, and we can't touch him no matter what crimes he's done in the past. It's just gets really ridiculous like that. Superman and Batman both end up having to talk to this FBI agent, who's also like, yes, he's a US diplomat, and if we do anything, we could disturb our peace with these other countries or whatever. And Superman's game for this, he agrees, he understands, the diplomatic powers. He knows that if they do anything, it will look bad. But Batman sees through all this bullshit. You know, he's known Joker for years. He knows he's just gonna kill people. They both go in. Bruce, or Batman, figures out, you know, that he can actually use his millionaire side to get into this meeting, to keep a close eye on it. And that's what he does. He sits in, everybody's waiting on this new speech from the Iranian ambassador. He comes up and he starts his speech, and what does he do? He opens his coat full of this poisonous laughing gas and just starts killing everybody at this meeting. And, you know, just classic things. Things that we could have never guessed. Things that it just is. But Batman, he's on top of that, alright? He takes him down basically instantly. He starts taking his suit off to reveal the bat suit. What do you know? Superman is also there in disguise as some political member. He's actually got this cool little mustache. You know, pretty neat. He's got a mustache, and I like that. But he uses his powers to inhale all the gas and suck all the gas out of the room. It does kill a few people, sadly, before he can do this. Joker runs off and escapes once again. He runs outside to like this helicopter or whatever. Batman jumps on it, and worst comes to worst, they're fighting in this helicopter. And one of the henchmen in there, he accidentally shoots the pilot in the head because he's just so scared of getting his ass kicked by Batman. It crashes. You know, Superman picks Batman out of the water, and he's just like, yo, I don't even know, guys. There's too much stuff in this. I can't remember it all. Yes, so the Joker escapes once again. There basically is no justice for Jason. That's about it. Jason Todd is now dead. Batman's left to deal with it. He knows that nobody's gonna find his body. He knows that he's just gonna keep going on being mad. That's basically the end of the story. There's not really any good like conclusion or anything, you know. Jason Todd just gets betrayed by his own mother, beaten to death with a crowbar, exploded into a person that's bleeding. It's very kind of unsatisfying like that. And, you know, there's some more comics after this that this does come with that I haven't read yet. I'm going to save that for a separate video just because there is so much going on here. But it is called The Lonely Place of Dying. It actually deals with Batman trying to deal with his feelings about his partner being dead and him now having to deal with all these crazy people alone and trying not to lose himself to the quote-unquote like dark side. But overall, I thought A Death in the Family was really good. You know, like I said, it's kind of campy, it's kind of wild, but there's a lot of good information in this. There's a lot of moments where Batman and Robin are being pretty sensitive about their lives and stuff. You know, Jason Todd kind of talks a little bit about his parents dying. His dad's actually like a gangster for Harvey Two-Face. I think his mom may have died from cancer or something like that. And Bruce Wayne is just, you know, he's crushed because his boy partner was just like viciously murdered and he could have done something about it. But a super interesting read. One of the most crucial moments in Batman history, I think, and I think a lot of people think. There's actually like an interactive movie that you can watch. I haven't watched it yet. I wanted to read this first before I did it, and I think I'll actually go watch this after that. Yes, this actually pulled up a lot of moments from an older comic book that it went to places that I did not think it would go to, and I think the writing is very good besides maybe like the last quarter of it. So if you're at all interested in comic books, I definitely suggest this one. It's really cheap. I think you can find it for like $20 on Amazon. I bought it for like $25 at a comic book shop, brand new. A lot going on here. And I think the most wildest part was just the fact that that the writers actually let the fans decide for Robin to die. You know, here's the actual page for that. And it's just like a call-in number. I haven't tried to call it. I'm pretty sure it's dead. But yeah, they let that happen. They respected their fans' decision, and they did that shit. They killed off one of their most iconic characters. Probably knowing that later on, you know, that they bring back. And there's actually some extra pages in this that the writer himself talks about how the executives wanted to bring Robin back as like Dick Grayson, which was the first one. But Dick Grayson had already been moved on to Nightwing and things like that. So yes, everybody, Batman, A Death in the Family, mega good. I definitely recommend it. I struggle bust through this video pretty hardcore. Like I said, there's just a lot of different things going on in this that I couldn't remember. I kind of wanted to do like a retelling, but I did my best. And I didn't want to spoil everything anyway, so there's a lot of things that happen in this that you're missing out on if you don't actually read this or watch the movie, hopefully, if they did a good job of that. After this, I'm going to move on to the last little quarter of this, which is Batman kind of dealing with his feelings of this. I think the Teen Titans actually come into play, which is cool because I've only seen the show when I was a kid. Yeah, like Nightwing's in it. I've seen Starfire. I'm pretty sure I've seen Raven and Cyborg and a bunch of other people. So I think that part may actually be a little more interesting. I'm really more interested in like the emotional side of it. Batman having his sidekick brutally murdered. So everybody, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully this is mildly entertaining and makes some bit of sense. But I am really enjoying reading these, and I am really enjoying doing these videos. I thought the Killing Joke one turned out pretty well, but it is a pretty straightforward, simple story with just some really awesome, memorable stuff. So be aware of the next one. I'm still going to be doing 3D printing stuff, but that takes a long time, so you're probably going to see more of these comic videos than 3D print videos. They'll probably be like a once in a month kind of thing. Sadly, if I'm being honest, they just take a lot more work. But yes, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you enjoyed. Let me know maybe about some other cool franchises other than Batman. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get burnt out on Batman pretty soon. And have yourself just a fantastic day.